Here we are then, everybody. We are moments away from the start of the Italian Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Formula One League. I believe that if Brad is up there in some good points in this race, I'm pretty sure he is the champion of season 15. He could well be the champion already. I've just had a look at the standings. I've just done the maths. There is only one race next week, which is 25 points available. He finished 1 point behind No, he didn't. Actually, the gap was a bit more from the sprint race, because obviously the point system is slightly different at Red Arrows to what it is in the real life F1. So it's very, very close. But I think as long as he doesn't have a DNF in this race, he's probably the champion. But anyway, we're off and away here for the Italian Grand Prix down towards turn 1. Brad from pole position has the lead as we've got Youngie here on the inside of Formula C as we see a big lock up there. Oh, is there somebody on the grass there in the background? There's absolute carnage there going through turn 1. As we can see there, there's a few stragglers here. Some people had to take to the runoff there, going through the first corner. In the meantime, Brad leads, but Youngie in Formula C still in second and third places for the time being. Brad and Youngie both gone for the hard tyres. Glenn there is right behind Honey Badger Formula C in fifth place at the moment, as Honey Badger gets ahead of Formula C going through the Delaware chicane on lap 1 of this race. But Formula C is not done yet. He looks back to the inside here into Lesmo 1 and has got back ahead of the McLaren there up into third place. But excited first few corners there. We've got a battle here in the background as we can see Jordan Hillier going side by side here with Eric Pinto, and as Jordan Hillier's come out on top in that one and maintains 10th place for the time being. Eric Pinto being swamped here. He's got ZX10 and Murph on the other side of him here as they come down towards Ascari. As we can see there, the Mercedes there of Eric Pinto running into the back of ZX10 and Murph doing the same thing to Eric. So they're all kind of just playing silly buggers here at the moment on this opening lap. We see Angry Guns there getting ahead of Nobby Bootneck up into P13. Murphy dropping down the order as Angry Guns gets up into P13 now. And you've got Murph there labouring around there on the inside of Nobby Bootneck. Nobby trying to go around the outside. Murph on the inside of the corner. Surely he's going to be coming to the pits, you would think, at the end of this lap. He isn't. He's staying out for the time being. So, oh, God help him. But anyway, we see Andrew Pittsmith and Lycorius into the pits here at the end of lap 1 as they're all coming through the first chicane here for the second time in this race. You've got everybody there filing into turn 1 at the moment. It seems like they're keeping it pretty tidy here at the moment. Lycorius and Andrew, they must have been the two that were on the grass going into the first chicane on lap 1. But we've got Brad Youngie, Formula C, Honey Badger here, the top 4. Glenn keeping tabs with them at the moment. Meldav right there with them as well. We've got a lot of them close to leaders at the moment. Bit of a gap back to ZX10, the top 8 here running in a bit of a... Well, actually, no, CJ and Jordan are a bit detached, actually. You've got the top 6 running in a bit of a train here. Brad's trying to break away from the rest of them, though. And has already got a 1.2 second gap over Youngie in these early stages here of this race. But there is Brad, there's Youngie, there's the 2 Saubers there, Youngie and Formula C in the background trying to keep tabs here with the Aston Martin. As we've got Jordan there getting ahead of CJ up into 7th place on the run down towards Parabolica. Just double checking that my mic's on, because yesterday I had a bit of a mare with that. As Brad there doing a fast lap of the race, which is very quickly eclipsed by Youngie, and then Honey Badger as well going even quicker. So we've got Meldav there moving ahead of Glenn up into P5 going into turn 1. In the background, Jordan trying to defend from CJ, who looks to the inside, but we've got yellow flags there going through turn 1, which has prevented CJ from being able to make that move. And the reason why is because SLH has stacked it here somewhere, I'm not sure where, maybe into the pit wall? Possibly into the pit wall, because he's retired just on the exit of the Parabolica, as Matthew has now rage quit after getting a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Now, have we got a safety car? I don't think we have. I can see the green dot going past the pits. Is that? It's not a green. It is a green dot. Yeah, it's a green dot. But saying that, who could it possibly be? I'm a bit confused about that one. But anyway, Brad Youngie, Formula C, Honey Badger here, the top 4 drivers. But Brad's already broken away a little bit from Youngie and Formula C. Brad seems to be in a league of his own here so far in this season. I think the championship is a foregone conclusion as long as he can be up there. He's, I believe, if my calculations are correct, I think he's got a 53-point lead over Formula C. Obviously, with this race and the next one, there's only 50 left on the table. I don't know if there's a point fastest lap. If there isn't, even so, I think he'd be the champion. But I just don't want to announce it until the end of the race. I just don't think that's not good form, is it? You know, I don't really want to sort of say it just in case. But Yeah, I believe anyway that Brad is the champion-elect here anyway, or more than likely. But Formula C looking pretty close here on the back of Youngie into turn 1, a bit too far back at the moment as they're all coming into the corner now. So we've got ZX10 getting close to the back of Angry Guns there into turn 1 as well. There is Jay-Z here trying to hassle Nobby Bootneck. You've got Quimo there waiting in the wings here in that battle for 14th place at the moment as Formula C attacking on his teammate again here into the Delaware chicane. Andrew Pittsmith there's got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. What a nightmare race it's been for him. What a nightmare event it's been here tonight. This meeting here at Monza has not gone the way he would have wanted it to at all. Brad races though with over a 2-second gap over Youngie at the moment and is absolutely flying along here. As we saw in the sprint race, let's hope we don't see a repeat at the final lap. As Youngie there being passed by his teammate Formula C. Formula C now up into P2. Jordan here is looking pretty close on the back of Glenn as well, coming out of the Parabolica. But in the meantime, we've got a heck of a battle here as Honey Badger here up the inside, sorry, around the outside, should I say, of Youngie. He's going to try and make it two position losses here for Youngie on the same lap, but now Youngie's got the DRS and the slipstream from his teammate. If his teammate's clever about this, he'll try and help him out. Although saying that, he doesn't want to be passed by him, does he? So maybe he will try and avoid that slipstream as Youngie riding on board with Honey Badger. Youngie there gets the slipstream and the DRS and makes the move there on his teammate into turn 1, returns the favour that we saw on the previous lap. Honey Badger for the time being has to tuck in because of the DRS train effect there. CJ and ZX10 are side by side going through turn 1 and CJ there managing to get ahead, but ZX10 has got the preferred run coming out of the corner. Now we've got the V-Carb trying to get involved of, the Williams, should I say, of Ernie. The liveries, man, it's so confusing. But the Williams here of Ernie looking to the outside as they come in towards the second chicane once again. Ernie's not in a position to do anything there, but ZX10 are managing to stay ahead of CJ there going through the first few corners. Did well there to keep it around the outside of the first chicane. As we got Brad here with nearly a 4-second gap to everyone else at the moment. Youngie has still got Honey Badger all over him here. Honey Badger now trying to make the move and has got ahead of both the Salvas now up into second place. Medium tyres for Honey Badger, so he needs to get a move on because those tyres are going to start to lose grip compared to the hard runners probably around now, to be perfectly honest with you. As Youngie's in the slipstream, no DRS until we get to the main straight, so he'll be looking to tuck in for the time being and use that to full effect in about 5 seconds time. In the meantime, Ernie and CJ are still battling here as CJ and Ernie, as they are, well, what's happened to Ernie here? Ernie's coming into the pit, so Ernie's got damage. So some kind of issue there with Ernie, not quite sure what at this point, but Ernie running into some problems here. Honey Badger's been passed again by Youngie, so Youngie's got himself back up into second place as they went into the first chicane. There's a battle here developing in the background as now we got Jay-Z looking to the inside of Nobby Bootneck, just a little bit too far away there as they went into turn 1 and continues to have to wait here in that one as Ernie is in the pits getting that front wing changed. And clearly some kind of catastrophe there for him. Honey Badger with a beautiful move there around the outside of the Delaware chicane, but Youngie is not done. And look at this, we've got Formula C now looking up the inside of Honey Badger. Honey Badger almost ended up losing a place trying to gain one, has managed to hang on just about as we've got a big Constantina effect there. Meldav and Jordan both had to slam the brakes on there to avoid running into the back of either of the two cars that were in front of them, because Honey Badger and Formula C were too busy focusing on themselves. Now Formula C with the DRS moves ahead of Honey Badger here up into third place going into Ascari, but great fight here between all of these drivers here for the podium places. Second down to 8th place, you've got basically 7 of them separate, all within a DRS train. In fact, ZX10 is now bringing himself into this fight as well, obviously the sprint race winner from a few minutes ago, but Brad out the front with over a 5-second gap here over Youngie, so he's flying along at the moment. He's looking pretty comfortable in this race lead as we got Formula C into the pits here. So is Clen. So these two both started on the medium tyres. Clen's got a 10-second penalty from tapping the back of Formula C going into the pits. That's a harsh one there, I have to say. I think the game's slightly flawed with that one. I think in real life, if you tap the back of the car in front going into the pits but you don't cause any damage, I suppose it is dangerous if you think about it, because it's a pit entry. But if the car in front is going too slowly, if you're doing the pit speed limit as you enter the pits and you hit the car in front, I would suggest possibly that the car in front could be at fault for going too slowly. But then again, I'm not a steward, so I don't know. But Ernie, in the meantime, has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits, not for tapping the back of the car in front, in this case. But we've got Honey Badger here, who's dropped a bit off of Youngie. Youngie's now looking pretty comfortable here in P2. Meldav now looking to try and make the move here. They look too far back into Ascari, has to wait a little bit longer here. Jordan, Angry Guns and ZX10 here are looking pretty hot on the heels of the McLaren driver at the moment. Obviously the McLaren and the Aston of Meldav, as we got Angry Guns looking to the inside there, trying to distract Jordan. Jordan's too focused on what's ahead of him here because he's got a McLaren and an Aston Martin right up ahead of him here in his crosshairs. Here we come then out of the Parabolica once again to start lap 8 of the race. We've got Angry Guns here coming into the pits. But we've got Meldav here, who's trying to make the move here on all these. Oh no, Joe! For goodness sake, why is it? Oh, this poor guy, Jordan, he keeps getting dragged into other incidents every time, every week. That's the second time he's been taken out on a straight going into a braking zone, not even in the braking zone. And that is just carnage there, going into turn 1. And the safety car, I think the safety car's out, is it? I'm not quite sure. I think it might possibly be. It could only be a VSC here, but Jordan out of the race once again. As they all piled into turn 1. Meldav there was the other one who was caught out in that one. That's now left Honey Badger all on his own there in 3rd place, with the others around them who were around them before having pitted. So Youngie running in 2nd place, Honey Badger a 2.5 behind, and Meldav now knocked out of that fight there. Angry Guns managed to avoid all of that by coming into the pits. Angry Guns, obviously because of the VSC, has come out 4 seconds ahead of Formula C as well, so he's in a good position right now. Albeit that might be a little bit less once we're at racing speeds, I'm not quite sure. Brad races into the pits here. Is it a full safety car? It is a full safety car, because I can see the yellow dot on the exit of turn 2. So Brad puts the hard tyres on. Presumably going to try and go to the end from here. It'll be a 17 lap race to the end once we get going. So I imagine all the guys who started on the mediums are going to be in a very strong position here. Angry Guns is going to be a little bit frustrated with this situation here because he's got to stop again. But for the guys, and likewise Youngie, ZX10 and Murph, and yeah, basically those guys, Ernie as well, running in P17, is going to be pretty frustrated because any chance that he had of recovering his race has pretty much gone out of the window here, unless we have another safety car. But even then, it's just going to be the same for everyone instead of a chance at redemption. But lap 9 of the Italian Grand Prix here for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. It's been an exciting event so far, and we're only halfway through it, technically. So plenty of racing still to go. So here we go then, guys, moments away from the restart here for the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. We've got Brad here leading us into the Parabolica here. He'll be getting us underway on his fresh hard tyres. He started the race obviously on the hard tyres as well, so he's got to do a stint on the mediums here, Brad. Now this is going to get tricky. He will have to come in again at some point because he's only used the hard tyres so far here in this race. But Brad coming over the line to get things going once again. Here's Youngie in second, ZX10 looking pretty close here on Youngie going down towards turn one. Young Angry Guns also having a look to the inside there of his teammate Honey Badger as they come into the corner. You got the Red Bull there going up down the inside of CJ. Also we got Meldav here side by side here with Nobby Bootneck coming in the exit of the corner as Meldav there gets that position up into 9th place. We've got Eric Pinto getting ahead of Clem down in P15, having an absolute nightmare of a race after a promising sprint race. As Youngie here is still on the back of Brad Race as they come through the second chicane here. We've got ZX10 as well. These two on the medium tyres are going to be flanking the race leader as much as they can on this opening couple of laps of the restart. Meldav here getting ahead of Formula C and is up 2 places here on the restart. So Meldav flying in the opening stages here of this restart to the race. We've got Jay-Z moving ahead of Quimo there up into 11th place as well, as Quimo was a bit wide. Murph's looking at try and take full advantage here as they come under the old circuit down towards Ascari once again. Murph there getting up into P12 as they go down towards the corner there. You've also got Eric Pinto getting around the outside of Quimo up into 13th place as well, as Quimo here out of sync enormously as the Clenna has to take to the grass to avoid him, and also Andrew Pittsmith there as well. So Quimo all over the gaff at the moment. Quimo there in the background. It's this damage there for Ernie in the background. I was going to say Quimo there getting back at a Clen down towards Parabolica, but it's gone a bit wide here. Has he got damage on the car? I think he has. Yet front right end plate's gone, so that's going to be costing him a bit of downforce here. Andrew Pittsmith here is going to move ahead of him up into P15, and Ernie into the pits to retire the car. So we've got another rage quit here tonight at Monza, as we've got Meldav here moving ahead of Formula C up into 7th, going through the curve of Grande. Formula C though is not giving up. He's got good straight line speed in that Sauber, and he's going to have the outside. It's going to turn to the inside here going into the De La Rocha chicane, and he's going to make that move up into P6 again. Beautifully done there from Formula C. As ZX10 here moving ahead of Honey Badger, although easy because Honey Badger is still there on the outside. Here we come into Lesmo 2, and Honey Badger swoops around him there beautifully on those hard tyres. That was a lovely move. Saying that, he's given away DRS, but he's still got DRS on the car in front somehow, God knows how. And ZX10 unable to make it work due to the car in front having the DRS. Eric Pinto in the meantime has left the session as well. That's another rage quit as CJ Drama there just ahead of Meldav here going into Ascari, and has got that move up into 8th place once again here. So battles everywhere you look up and down the field at the moment. Brad Race is still leading. Youngie though chasing him down as they come through the Parabolica on the fresh medium tyres. Youngie sensing a win here tonight. He's going to be there to make sure he can pick up the pieces because Brad still needs to pit. So Youngie could have a massive opportunity here tonight. And Honey Badger, I think, started on the mediums, so he also has a good chance of a win as well if he can stay close to Youngie. But Youngie here making a move for the lead as he goes into turn 1, and Brad Race is now down to P2. In the background here we got a big battle here as Meldav here down the inside of CJ, almost pushing him off the track there. Bit of contact there as they come through the corner, almost a Hamilton Verstappen moment there between those two. Murph and Jay-Z here also battling as Murph gets himself back up into 10th place here. Meldav just ahead of CJ, as CJ now looking to the inside into De La Rocha chicane. He's too far away, and that's not going to happen just at the moment then, as we see Eric Pinto coming out of the pits here, having done a stop onto the medium tyres, which is a long way out for the medium tyres, I have to say. Must have had damage, which has forced his hand a little bit earlier than I'm sure he would have liked, because doing 14 laps on the medium tyres around Monza is a tricky one. We've seen multiple occasions where the hards have gone kaput after about 18 laps, so yeah, it's a risky strategy for sure. 14 laps on the medium tyres, I don't think that's going to work out for him. Personally, I think we're going to be seeing them go pop at some point before the checkered flag, but in the meantime we've got Youngie and Brad Races here, 1 and 2 coming out the final corner Honey Badger here is very, very hot on their heels right now. All the way from 1st down to 7th, there is a DRS train. Nobody has managed to shake off the car behind in this lead pack, as we see Brad making a move up the inside into turn 1 and takes the lead of the race. Formula C looking to the inside in the background there, too far away. Youngie managing to just stay ahead of Honey Badger there on the exit of turn 1. Now Honey Badger's got ZX10 looking around the outside here, coming through the Curva Grande, but the Honey Badger there's got the inside line. ZX10 though is going to have the momentum here around the outside. It's going to have the inside here into the second chicane, and it's going to make that move there into 3rd place. ZX10 up place there, taking full advantage of Honey Badger's speculativeness there on the back of Youngie, although Honey Badger back down the inside into Lesmo 1 and has got back ahead there of the Alpine up into 3rd place. So great fight here between these two. They're showing each other good respect here on the track. These Red Arrows drivers pushing the limits, but know where the limit is as well. It's good to see. Really, really great racing on display here tonight, as Brad's race is hard tyres now starting to fire up. You can see he's pulled the gap here at 1.5 seconds to Youngie at the moment, so he's definitely getting into a bit of a groove now, as we've seen so many times over the course of tonight already. Glenn there looking to the inside of Nobby, of Jay-Z, even into the Parabolica, but just a little bit too far away there going into the corner. Brad has got 1.5 seconds here over Youngie, as Honey Badger now looking to the inside. He's too far away at the moment. Angry Guns also pretty close here. Formula C. Oh, it's like Lycorius spins it there going into the first corner, and he's facing the wrong way. Here comes Melduff. Turn around quickly before you crash into someone here, mate. As Melduff here moves ahead. Murph, TJ, and Jay-Z as well there, getting into the top 10. Lycorius down a ton of places here. Clen's also going to get through, and Lycorius down to 12th place here in all of that kerfuffle. What a disaster there for the V-Carb driver, as we've got somebody going straight on there. That's the Red Bull there of CJ, who misses the chicane at the end of the first sector. In the meantime, Formula C looking pretty close on Angry Guns right now. All of them are pretty close on each other right now for 2nd place. Youngie, Honey Badger, ZX10, Angry Guns, Formula C, as Formula C having a little swerve to the inside there, trying to distract his opponent in the mirrors, but his opponent's got DRS on a bunch of cars in front and slipstream, and it's making it almost impossible for any of them to make a move. The only one who's got a real chance is Honey Badger, who's got a good chance here, looking to the outside now. Sorry, ZX10, as ZX10 outbreaking him there on the inside, but ZX10 should be the one with the best chance here in Youngie, because he's well within 4/10, but Honey Badger is the one who's closest. Formula C there ahead of Angry Guns, because Angry Guns is coming to the pits here at the end of lap 16, so he's going to put a set of hard tyres on and try and go to the end. Honey Badger here up the inside of ZX10 into turn 1, and he's just going to slot into that gap there in between Youngie and ZX10 for the time being. Honey Badger back up into 3rd place on the hard tyres. ZX10 surely got a pit again on his medium tyres. They are not going to go the distance. There's absolutely no way on earth that he's going to get them to the end. Honey Badger here still right behind Youngie. These guys now 3 seconds behind the race leader, Brad Races, at this point. Honey Badger here has got a great run here into Lesmo 1, and it's going to make the move up the inside there. The hard tyres now starting to come into their own. We've seen obviously Brad managing to extend the gap, but to be fair, what Brad can do isn't too much of a prologue as to what those on the hards should be capable of, because Brad seems to be in his own league here at the moment. But Youngie here making the move there on Honey Badger into Ascari, and is up into 2nd, and in fact ZX10 are also following him through there, so Honey Badger down 2 places there, as he's now tucking back into the slipstream here to try and make the move on the Alpine again. But Youngie leads this train of cars battling over 2nd place. There's 4 of them in the line here, as Formula C throwing a little dummy there to the inside of Honey Badger. Lycorius has crashed out of the race. Did he make contact with anyone? You can see in the background there he's lost it out of Ascari. I don't think he's made contact with anyone. Similar incident to what we saw with Brad Races on the final lap, except that Brad ended up getting it together, kept it out of the wall, and managed to cross the line in 3rd. But Youngie, ZX10, Formula C, Meldav, Murph, Clen, CJ, Jay-Z all coming into the pits. I think Brad and Honey Badger had already gone past the pit lane before they saw the safety car come out. So this is interesting now. And the guys who were on the mediums, who had to make another stop, are now been throwing a bit of a lifeline here. But for Brad and Honey Badger out the front, Brad has to pit again anyway. Now he'll be hoping that he doesn't pick up the safety car. He's actually gone past the safety car, so Brad is lucky in that one. He'd gone past the pit lane, but he's also gone past the safety car, so he's gonna be able to come in and probably pit at the end of this lap. He's still under VSC rules, but he's far enough ahead, I think, of at least Youngie, that he should be able to come in and pit for a set of what I would guess would probably be medium tyres from this distance. Although saying that, well, it'd be a 7-lap race by the time you get going, so 7 laps you'd think mediums would be the most obvious option, but who knows. Brad has made the hards work quite nicely here tonight. But Brad could have just been thrown a lifeline here as well in this race, because he was going to have to pit with a load of cars well within his pit window, and now he's going to pit and come out in at least second. If Honey Badger comes in, he'll be in the lead still. But Brad here peeling into the pits at the end of lap 18, and Honey Badger likewise. So Brad will maintain the lead of the race. Honey Badger will stay in second, and Youngie is going to come around probably still in third place in a moment, but they're all going to have fresh tyres here for this final stint. Now, what tyres do the top two go for? It's going to be interesting. It's only going to be about 7 racing laps. Brad's gone for the mediums. Honey Badger has gone for the hards. So whether or not he had any medium tyres left, or whether his preference was for the hards, we're not quite sure. But nonetheless, these two have gone for 2 different options. Youngie on fresh mediums, so is ZX10. You've got Formula C on the hards. Angry Guns on the hards. Came in a lap earlier than these guys, coincidentally. Didn't get the full benefit, but nonetheless it's still right there, and it's also one who's been kind of given a chance here. Glenn is in 9th place on relatively fresh hard tyres. Meldav on the soft, running in 7th place. I don't think that's going to work very well. Those are going to be burned out after 3 or 4 laps. He might have a bit of fun in the first couple of laps, but that's not going to last very long here. But here we go then. We've been set up with an absolute cracker of a final few laps here for this Italian Grand Prix here for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, because this is going to be a fascinating finish to this one. Here we go then, guys. About to get underway here once again. Just double check the mic's on. Yep, here we go. Out of the final corner here for 6 laps to the flag here for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League here at Monza, and it's Brad getting us underway again on the medium tyres. He's been quick on the hard tyres all night. Now we're going to see his real pace here as we see a couple of drivers coming into the pits at the end of the safety car. Meldav and Clem, they must have had a crash under the safety car on that final lap of the under the caution, as we've got a big gap here from the top 6 down to Murph in 7th. What on earth's happened there in the mid-pack, I don't quite know. I actually didn't see it really, but we got Quimo there being passed by CJ coming through the first chicane, and CJ's up into 11th place in that one. Meldav and Clem just coming out of the pits now in 14th and 15th places after whatever calamity occurred there at the last lap of that safety car period. But Brad here leading Honey Badger. Honey Badger sticking to the back of him at the moment. There's Youngie right behind him as well. Brad, I think, is maybe just taking it a bit easy on these opening couple of laps. Knows he needs to get his mediums to the end and needs to make sure that he looks after them better than the hards of than what the hard runners are able to do. But Honey Badger currently keeping tabs as we got Formula C in the background looking to the inside of the ZX-10, but unable to do anything just there. Youngie there with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That's going to really inhibit his progress here in this one, because he's got a load of cars right behind him. As it stands right now, he'd lose position to ZX-10 Formula C and Angry Guns and drop down to P6 here at the end of this race, and I can't see that changing if these guys all stay in a DRS train, to be perfectly honest with you. But Brad here over the line to start lap 23. We've got just 5 laps left to go here for the Italian Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. Brad Races stands on the verge of taking the championship here for season 15, as long as he stays exactly where he is. To be honest, I don't think he needs a win. I don't think he even needs to score a point. I think he's actually already won it, but just to be absolutely sure, I think this is pretty much going to save me from having egg on my face tonight. Brad, can you just win it just so I can be sure? But anyway, Angry Guns here trying to make the move up the inside of Formula C into the chicane, and I think he's done that one. He hits the curb there on the inside, shoots him offline a little bit. That might allow Formula C back up the inside. No, he hasn't got enough momentum there, and Angry Guns for the time being has that one done. Jay-Z attacking on Murph here going into Lesmo 1. He's got Nobby Bootneck, Andrew Pittsmith, CJ and Quimo all in hot pursuit there as they're battling it out over 7th place. 6 of them currently in the line. Currently 4 of them in the line here battling over the lead as well, although they're all in the DRS train, but they're a bit more spread out than that pack battling over 7th place at the moment. Murph has got Jay-Z closing in on him coming down towards Ascari. In the meantime, we've also got CJ there in the background making a move on Andrew, and also almost making a move there on Nobby there. So CJ almost getting 2 places there as he came through the corner. Now he's trying to be repassed by Andrew. Andrew can't do it as CJ's got the slipstream here on the back of the V-carb, but Jay-Z here is really close on Murph as they come into the Parabolica. Surely he's going to be able to make this move here for P7 coming down the start finish straight, as we've got Quimo there getting back ahead of Andrew up into 11th place coming through Parabolica, but Jay-Z here is going to have a great chance. Formula C in the meantime has got back ahead of Angry Guns up into P5. Here comes Jay-Z though on the inside and has made that move up into 7th place. The Haas getting ahead of the Red Bull there. Oh, got CJ there attacking. Oh my goodness, no, Andrew Pittsmith there misses his braking point and has gone absolutely steaming into CJ, and CJ's going to be livid with that one, as Andrew Pittsmith quite rightly there getting a drive-through penalty. I hope that wasn't deliberate, but it's completely screwed up his race. He's out of this one. CJ is hobbling around. Brad still leads the race. No safety car. I think it's too late in the race for a safety car, so they're just going to have to get on with it. VSC, I think, was briefly deployed there, but we continue on our way without any further interruptions. But Brad, Honey Badger, Youngie and ZX10 here, the top 4, are going to fight it out for the victory here tonight. Youngie's not really in it because of the penalty, but his teammate's too far back for him to help his teammate here. Formula C is currently locked in a battle here with the McLaren of Angry Guns, and in fact Angry Guns has almost dropped out of a second here to Formula C, so that one could be over pretty soon. Jay-Z still running in P7 there ahead of Murph and Nobby Bootneck. There is Quimo there on the back of these guys. CJ was taken out there going into turn 1. In fact, was he? Because he's got no damage on the front. I think he's got damage on the rear though. He must have, because I mean, that was a hefty whack there that Andrew Pittsmith gave him going into turn 1. But CJ here staying out for the time being. There's Meldav running in P12 as well. I think caught up in that one, but Nonetheless, Honey Badger up the inside for the lead of the race here on Brad. And Brad here couldn't do nothing about it. It's Honey Badger on the outside on the grass. Brad there squeezing his way back through. It's now Youngie's going to try and knock Honey Badger while he's down here. Going into Lesmo 1. He can't do anything there and has to tuck in for the time being. But Honey Badger went for a very, very risky move there up the inside. Maybe now because the hard tyres are wearing less. Honey Badger's now finding a bit more confidence here than Brad. But Brad is still going to fight this one out. He's going easy on these tyres. I think he'll be pushing them to their absolute limit on this final lap. But Youngie here up the inside trying to make the move there on Honey Badger. Honey Badger's got the preferred line as Youngie there completely offline there for the Ascari and has lost out to ZX Tenor as a result. Potentially could also lose out to Formula C, and Formula C and ZX Tenor have been brought into this one. In fact, Angry Guns is right there with them as well. This could be a 6-car train here for the lead because Brad Races and Honey Badger battling has brought the others really into play here as it slowed this pack down. They've all concertinaed. And obviously through the next couple of corners after Honey Badger attempted that move, Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, it's practically impossible to overtake it. So it kind of narrows out the track between those two corners as Honey Badger up the inside, back up into the lead of the race again here ahead of Brad Races. What a finish we've got in store here. 5 of these drivers without penalties. Angry Guns is now within a second of Formula C. We have got a 6-car battle for the lead here with 2 laps left to go. One of the drivers Youngie with a penalty, but nonetheless it's still going to be a heck of a fight. Brad now looking to the inside of Honey Badger into turn 1, but into the second chicane, should I say. Honey Badger here clinging on for the time being, but what about we've got in store here is ZX Tenor now has got a bit of a run here on Brad going into Lesmo 1. He's too far back just at the moment, and Brad clings on to that one. Youngie here trying to get involved in this one while ZX Tenor's distracted here, but Formula C is all over the back of his teammate. Surely Youngie's got to pull over for Formula C here because he's got no penalties. He's his teammate. He's right on the back of him here. This makes no sense for Youngie to be holding on to this position. Is he going to wait until the main straight to make way here? Maybe he's doing this tactically, but Formula C is going to blast past his teammate here on the run down towards Parabolica. He's still within DRS of the leaders here as Honey Badger making the move once again here ahead of Brad Races, but now Brad's going to have the DRS down the main straight once again. We have now got 3 of them, potentially 4 of them, although Formula C's got a penalty as well. I hadn't noticed that. Formula C has now got a penalty. He might have got that one through Ascari. We've got 3 cars now battling over the lead as they come into turn 1 once again. Honey Badger here ahead of Brad. Brad looking to the outside here to try and make a move. Is he going to go around the long way here? He can't do so as he's being pushed to the edge of the track there. Honey Badger keeping it around the outside, and Brad there unable to complete that move. But now Brad's got ZX Tenor looking to his outside here as well, coming through the Curva Grande and on board here with the Alpine. He'll be hoping the McLaren gives him some slipstream, which Honey Badger is doing, not deliberately, but it's his normal racing line there coming through the corner, and ZX Tenor up the inside of Brad into the chicane and has made that move up into second place. Brad though looking back to the inside now into Lesmo 1. Is he going to be able to make this move with him? He's going to be side by side here, gets a better exit out of the corner, leaves him a bit of space there on the exit of the corner, and Brad back into second place here. ZX Tenor has got Formula C all over the back of him when he goes wide there to ZX Tenor. That lets Formula C through up into third place. But Brad's going to have one more crack at this. He's going to look to try and make the move here on the part of the track where he made the mistake on the final lap in the sprint race. Can he take the lead here and get the victory here in the Grand Prix on this McLaren of Honey Badger? Honey Badger's clinging on for the time being. Formula C's right there with the penalty as well. He can't win the race no matter what he does. But Brad Races hasn't got the straight line speed to overhaul the McLaren here into the Parabolica. And Honey Badger is going to take an unlikely win here in this Italian Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. But I think Brad Races is the champion of the Red Arrows F1 League. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that Brad Races is the champion here for season 15. So I want to say congratulations to him on a double podium tonight and potentially the championship as well. As ZX Tenor takes third with Angry Guns 4, Formula C over in P5 with Youngie P6, JZ 7th, had a Nobby Bootneck in 8th with Murph 9th, Quimo over in P10, CJ crossing the line here. It's going to be 11th place here for CJ, not too far ahead of Meldav, who's coming over the line here to take 12th. And then Glenn a little way behind Meldav here in P13 as he's coming through the Parabolica. It's been a race to forget over Glenn, not like his usual standards that we're used to seeing from him, but over the line he comes in P13. Eric Pinto there, I think, finished the lap down as Glenn does what is now quite customary for him, to be fair, and crashed into the wall over the line. But that is the lot. That is your lot here for tonight for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. So I think Brad Race is the champion for season 15 with only 1 round left, and I'm pretty sure he's more than 25 points ahead. I think he's about 50 odd points ahead in the championship, so I believe the championship is now over. But thanks ever so much to the Red Arrows League as always for providing some great action, and as always it's a pleasure to cover the league, and we'll be back next week for the final round of Australia at Albert Park. So looking forward to that one already. Some great action, and I look forward to it, and hopefully we'll be able to do the same in the new year. But thanks everybody once again, and we'll see you all next week.